Ladies and gentlemen, it is October 19th, 2019. It is October 19th, 2019, ladies and gentlemen. Is it February of 2017 when I wrote in the Huffington Post, Clinton 2020 is a reality, get ready for 8 years of Trump? And now, thank God, he's going to win back-to-back terms because he's a great president. Record low Black and Latino unemployment. First Step Act prison reform legislation. He scaled back U.S. foreign policy, addressed the foreign policy catastrophes of 16 years of Bush and President Obama. He's going up against very, very corrupt, insidious, really nefarious intelligence chiefs that fabricated the most nonsensical, irrational investigations, utilizing the United States government against an innocent man. I don't care if you don't like his personality. The guy's an innocent man. He never worked with Russia, which is absurd to begin with. Every single thing that lessens the chance for Democrats to win is a plot from another country. It's pretty absurd. But it is October 19th, 2019. October 19th, 2019. And to my super chat, thank you so very much. You give me every incentive to rock these live streams. New York Post, Steve Bannon says Trump may be impeached in 6 weeks, faces challenges from Bloomberg and Clinton. Okay, here's a little news flash on Bloomberg. Biden and Warren have more charisma and more energy and more enthusiasm and more personality in their little pinkies than Bloomberg his entire political career. Yeah, he's a billionaire, is worth a lot of money. But Bloomberg and Bannon know, and everyone knows that simply being a billionaire isn't going to... The fact that Trump is a billionaire has really nothing to do with why he won. President Trump, whether you like him or not, has a certain type of charisma. It's a certain type of confidence. He says it like it is. You might not like his personality, but he says it like it is. That's how he won. And he has a very specific viewpoint that he is not afraid of trying to implement. When you talk about bringing home Americans, ending foreign entanglements, limiting or trying to scale back U.S. foreign policy, that's what he's doing. That's what he ran on. That's why people voted for him. That's why I'm voting for him in 2020. One of the big reasons. Now they say, well, he's a despot, and no, he's not. How can you be authoritarian by limiting U.S. foreign policy while at the same time signing and implementing prison reform and criminal justice reform legislation? How does that even work? How does it even work? And I don't care if they're going to impeach him. I don't care what anything I don't care anything the House does. Really, I don't. I was talking to one of my buddies, and they're like, "Oh, Trump." And I'm like, climate change is so important. Okay, well then, why hasn't the House passed any climate change legislation? Huh? Why hasn't the House passed any climate change legislation? If it's so important, why hasn't the House passed any climate change legislation? So we can go on and on. Why hasn't the House passed any legislation regarding immigration? Legislation regarding any voter suppression? They blamed that for their loss also. Okay. No voting rights bill? Oh, okay. Tulsi Gabbard works for Russia, but money flowing into the Clinton Foundation was purely altruistic from Uranium One executives. Right. And President Obama could have vetoed the sale of 20% of U.S. uranium capacity, but that was a way to deceive the Kremlin by allowing them to get 20% as opposed to nothing. That's really good. Anyway, it goes on. New York Post, impeachment is a mortal threat to Donald Trump's presidency, and the White House needs to start taking it more seriously, former chief strategist Steve Bannon told the Post. I disagree. I don't care. I mean, maybe I just really don't care, like, I don't care that the House is going to impeach Trump because there's nothing to really impeach Trump on. That's why, I mean, they would vote. They would have already voted. They wouldn't vote for an inquiry or to vote on perhaps inquiring. I've been saying they're going to impeach Trump, but they're going to it's going to be another, like, fabricated, oh, well, he tried to obstruct an investigation where they set him up. And it's not going to work. They impeached Clinton. And his they impeached Clinton, and instead of his my God, people, they impeached Clinton, and then his poll numbers went up. So it's like, what do they expect? They expect that they're going to impeach him and that, people respect Congress, they respect media, they don't. The issue here is Clinton is running again, and there's nothing anyone can really do about it. And if Trump makes it out of House impeachment alive, the 65-year-old Breitbart News, Bannon says, and viable challengers in 2020 have to face the surprising and viable challengers in 2020 and Mike Bloomberg or Hillary Clinton. So I don't know if he's trying to say that Clinton's going to enter the race after he gets impeached or while he's getting impeached. And if Trump makes it out of House impeachment alive, Bannon predicts he'll have to face a surprise from viable challengers in 2020 like Mike Bloomberg and Hillary Clinton. Bannon says he's been dismayed by what seems to be an uncoordinated White House approach to impeachment. What can they do? It's not much they can do. I don't feel comfortable when I see the chief staff, Mick Mulvaney, Bannon said, citing a disastrous... So, the problem we have is the president needs a team around him, and somebody has got to step up and make a play. Trump can't do everything. There's just no coordination with them. That could be right. George Rivera Jr. If the House impeached, it goes to the Senate. There, all will be made public. Exactly. They're all George Rivera Jr. All will be made public in the Senate, and in the Senate they will be forced to defend President Trump. They're going to have to explain exactly why this man should be removed from office. They have tried to impeach Trump even before. They tried to impeach Trump, like, what? They were talking about impeachment the first 3 to 4 months of his presidency. So, I mean, it's kind of unbelievable because They don't realize that it's only going to help. It's only going to help President Trump eventually. Andy Gonzalez, thank you. Thank you for your kind words. Andy, thank you for your kind words. They don't realize that they can't harm Trump. No matter how much they try, they can't harm Trump. Now, it's October 19th, 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening I went to a bar mitzvah, and I was telling people that, were close to me that I knew. I didn't want to, this is not something I want to talk about, It's just, like, I try to, like I said, don't talk politics, but with certain people that I was very close with, who I've spoken about politics with, I'm like, ain't going to be Warren. No, it's going to be Warren. It's going to be Warren. I go, no, it's not. It ain't going to be Warren. Ain't going to be Warren. I said, what do you think of Biden? No, Biden. No, Biden. No. Okay. So they're like, well, it's going to be Warren. Like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And today, Steve Bannon, like, yeah, he keeps bringing up Bloomberg also. He keeps bringing up Bloomberg, maybe just because the poor guy doesn't want to sound like me. I just think that he knows. Everybody knows. Okay, so everybody knows what's going on. President Trump, Tulsi Gabbard, Steve Bannon, little old me. Everybody knows what's going on. It's just a matter of when. I have no clue when. I don't know when. In terms of for vice president, I really don't know. I really don't know. But there has to be a situation where Democrats are like, no, you know what? We can't do this anymore. We can't do this anymore. We can't mess around and play around with Biden. We can't play around with Warren. And also, if you noticed, with Biden, well, okay, initially with Kamala Harris, it was Tulsi Gabbard. Within 13 seconds or 20 seconds, her campaign was done. Within 20 seconds, the campaign was done. I mean, just done. And you have Biden, where he turned into a reptile on television. And then there's the issue with the Ukraine. Then you have Clinton going after Tulsi Gabbard. And the Ukraine issue, according to Congressman Nunes, is linked to Clinton because Clinton spoke about this in 2015-16 as a reasoning for Biden not to get in. So then you have only one person left who hasn't felt the wrath of the golden muumuu. Who is that? Warren. Warren has not been taken to task, okay? So I just think that the issue here, ladies and gentlemen, is that she's going to wait. I've always stated that they're going to impeach President Trump primarily to pave the way for Clinton. Trump is just brilliant at flipping bad news into good news or, mitigating any negative story. But it's still, I don't really care because, you know what? Congress does not have, the American public doesn't respect Congress the way they used to, even though they never really respected Congress that much in the past. But the media and the House and the Senate used to be far more important to politics, or far more influential, I should say. These entities were respected. Now that's not really the case. It's not really the case. I think that media and just government in general, and especially Congress, are at all-time lows in terms of favorability. If you look at the polls, they're at all-time lows. So, but yet still, for people that voted for Clinton, the 60 million people, or 65 million, but she's counting on 65 million people to vote for her again. The Electoral College is not going to look good for Democrats, especially with the Green New Deal, especially with Clinton, because the voter turnout with Clinton, and really any Democrat, I mean, who's going to be far better than Clinton? Nobody. Sandiford! Warren wouldn't have a chance even if the DNC wasn't corrupt. She's made of scandals and about as exciting as a shoe. Exactly. But, I mean, when you look at the current field, who can outraise Hillary Clinton? Who can outspend the golden movement? Nobody. Who has a base of support? Who has won 65 million votes? Now, granted, she outspent Trump 2-1, but this is a charade and a farce and a theatrical performance, and I said they don't even have a political party. They don't have a political party. I've been a lifelong Democrat, I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet. I know what I'm talking about. According to the Huffington Post and according to the Washington Post, the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters. I know the Democratic Party. They demand absolute complete allegiance, absolute complete loyalty, absolute complete obedience. If you do not give them this, it's a big, huge problem. Cornflakes, Eric H526. I just read your. It's a huge, huge problem. If you don't get the 7 of 9, time's up for those corrupt. If they don't get, so that's why they went after Tulsi Gabbard. With Biden, the poor guy is there just for appearances. Warren is there because she's the perfect foil to Bernie. I mean, I guess she's the perfect way to neutralize Bernie's campaign. So they don't really have any political... And we know that Tulsi Gabbard and Andrew Yang are far more popular than Amy Klobuchar. But Amy Klobuchar is what? Around same place in the polls. So the whole thing is rigged, but just in a different way. They spent 3 years, ladies and gentlemen, constantly, this continual barrage of never-ending Russia. It's because of Russia. They're constantly trying to defend Andy Gonzalez. Thank you, Andy. Greatly appreciated. Andy Gonzalez, I want you here on election night when Trump wins and Democrats lose again with Clinton. Oh my God. Andy Gonzalez, thank you. Can you imagine? Oh my God. I have a list of people I'm going to call that night. Oh my God. People who just constantly. Does everybody, Andy, everybody here, does everyone here, all 600 people almost, do you have friends that you know that lecture you like I do? I have people who lecture me. You know you're on the wrong side of history, man. AJ, you're on the wrong side of history, man. You're on the wrong side of history. Oh, what side should I be on? The side that says that Russia hacked the DNC to inform the country that Bernie Sanders was cheated? Andy Gonzalez, thank you so very, very much, Andy. Thank you. Thank you always for watching. Thank you, Andy Gonzalez. Sandiford! Warren. Oh, that was... Warren Warren wouldn't also. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree with that. God, there's no charisma. It's not a matter of charisma. There's like a certain swag, or I don't know exactly like. Clinton... Robert Mackey, you do Lex, that's right. I try not to even, at this point right now, I just don't want to, like, people are like trying, they're like, I just want to, like, I literally have to talk to my friends and be like, we're cool, right? I don't want you to abandon me because I happen to have a different political viewpoint, my God. Oh, my goodness, but... Bannon is predicting this, and he's doing so because it's going to happen. Tulsi Gabbard stated, just jump in the race already because it's going to happen. Andy Gonzalez, thank you again. Thank you, Andy. Trump, a couple weeks back, he knows it's going to happen. They all know it's going to happen. So, they know what's up. Trump knows what's up. Tulsi knows what's up. Bannon knows what's up, although Bannon is a little bit... Bannon does things for his brand. So he's like, yeah, Bloomberg can come in also. Bloomberg might come in. I don't really care if he does or doesn't. I have no clue whether Bloomberg will come in or not. I doubt it, but I don't really care. So, I really don't care. The main thing, though, is... I highly doubt Bloomberg will enter the race. But if he does, it'll be Bloomberg and Biden, and people are going to be like, well, wait a second. Bloomberg and Biden and Bernie? What is this, an old age home? For men? Why can't we have the golden moo-moo? And... then that could be one way for her to enter the race, I mean, there's a million different ways for Clinton to, and I have no clue who her VP will be. I don't know. I have no clue. I think that it's really, really interesting what the Golden Moo did with Tulsi Gabbard. It's interesting. I really doubt that they expected the justified response, the accurate and justified and beautifully written and poetic and poignant response from Tulsi. I mean, that's what Bernie Sanders should have done. That's what Bernie Sanders should have done. I mean, Andy Gonzalez, thank you again, Andy. Thank you. Bernie Sanders should have been like, yeah, you know what? You're the queen of not only corruption, but all things despicable. How you like them apples? How you like me now? But that was not to be. That was not to be. God bless Bernie Sanders. I want him safe and healthy and only love. I only have love, but at the same time, would have been nice if he just stated that there was no, he was cheated. It wasn't the Russians who informed the country that he was cheated. So... Clinton and Bloomberg would be much stronger than the current field, Bannon conceded. Well, of course. Well, Bloomberg, I'm not so sure. Bloomberg has no appeal outside New York, and I don't really know how much appeal he has even inside New York. Bloomberg or Clinton could be very competitive. She is a very formidable candidate, and I think Bloomberg would be very formidable. I can't. Here's the thing. Why are people... This is also Bannon. Like, why does Bannon think that Clinton doesn't run the show? Of course she runs the show. There was a secret agreement that Donna Brazile wrote about. It's still ongoing. Who has the Rolodex of the endless, campaign donations? I mean, you could say Bloomberg has, just the same Rolodex, but it's a little bit different. He's never been a viable presidential candidate. And, if it's Bloomberg Trump, you're looking at an orange freight train versus a, one of the original Prius cars. It's not working out. Andy Gonzalez, thank you again. George Rivera Jr. I'm a bit contrarian on impeachment. Pelosi will try and run the clock out with the impeachment inquiry and impeach in late October 2020. I mean, that could be. I mean, George Rivera Jr., whenever they impeach, I think it's just going to be public relations. So I think that, you could be right on that. They could actually, George, begin impeachment, in January or February, the actual inquiry or whatever. I mean, we're going into November now, so I'm not saying is... Again's BXN. Your Bernie love letters to DWS are comedy gold. Comedy gold. I'm gonna wear a golden muumuu on election night. That's right. Dear Deborah Wasserman, your touch is something that I have never forgotten. And I just want to tell you that when I think of your frizzy hair, your beautiful stare, it reminds me of a double dare that I used to tell myself when I said, let your heart go to places that are completely unknown. Be free with yourself. And if people inform the country that I was cheated, it's a foreign plot. But what the Russians can't do is get in the way of you and me, Deborah Wasserman. Your name is no longer mentioned in polite company, but in my heart of hearts, in the showroom of my soul, the ballroom of my heart, you are there, shining brightly with your frizzy mane. You did so much to help me. Now I have Warren on my backside. This is a fantastic in every way. This election is going better than expected. Now I have to deal with Warren. That song. Backstabbers by the OJs. Backstabbers. They're smiling in your face all the time. They want to take your place. That's Warren. By the way, Elizabeth, thanks for backing me up the other election. Greatly appreciated, not. Creating Wingless Angel! Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated, Wingless Angel. Thank you. This is from my dad, the Jin Huey, straight from the boat, born under the Emperor of China, escaped from Chairman Mao Zedong. Wow, thank you. Keep America free, love you. Thank you, Wingless Angel. Thank you. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you, Wingless Angel. George Rivera Jr., thank you. Wingless Angel, thank you so much for always watching. You are wonderful, and it's greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. Andy Gonzalez, thank you again. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, George. Wingless Angel, thank you. Greatly appreciated. From your dad, please give him my best and thank you. Very, very kind of you. Thank you. She can make my hair grow back. James, that's awesome. Oh, man. I mean, it's this election is like, I'm looking at it like, because the thing is, like, being from the far, like, what I consider the far left, which actually I wasn't really, kind of I was, but not really, who knows. I know that Warren has zero appeal to the one thing with Bernie Sanders in 2016, and whether this was accurate or not accurate, the one thing that Bernie Sanders had was appeal to a whole lot of people. That moment in time will never be duplicated again, ever. And they tried to just, ignore it. My writing in the Hill, the Huffington Post, and Salon went viral, and the editors at the Hill, the Huffington Post, and Salon signed off on everything I wrote. And whereas a lot of people who are liberal Democrats look at the article titles and say, "Oh my God, you see this? This is complete nonsense." It's like, well, if you look at about 10 to 12 really important articles I wrote, they'd pretty much explain exactly what happened. Clinton lost. Amish Space Force, yes. Clinton lost after cheating Bernie Sanders, had nothing to do with Russia. Bernie could have won if it were a fair primary. And the DNC emails and campaign emails show absolute corruption. So they managed to hide their corruption within Trump's personality, which is really interesting. It's really interesting how they're able to. It's like you mess up and then you hide your faults within the personality of somebody else. It's just so bizarre. Wingless, thank you. SM, Orange Man, good, yes. George Rivera Jr., Wingless, thank you so very much. But yeah, I mean, whoever ended up the Democratic nominee would also have to live in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. He said in the 2016 race, Clinton famously neglected these states. Yeah, but the thing she'll also have to live in Florida, too. She'll have to live in a lot of places. You know what Trump needs to do? What he must do? He has to bring up the Green New Deal. Because, the AFL-CIO is against the Green New Deal. Unions are against the Green New Deal. Like, Democrats are like, we're going to do this, that, and have a sustainable wage and respect all people. It's like, well, the unions are against this, so yeah. AFL-CIO is against it. So how are you going to get them for it if you want to do away with air travel and fossil fuels tomorrow or within 12 years? What happens to those jobs that rely, those millions of jobs? What happens? It's the same thing with like, well, Medicare for all will work. Okay, why hasn't the House passed a bill? But then you're like, yeah, you'll do it with private insurance, but you'll get government health care. It's like, well, how are you so certain that you're going to get the same level of coverage? And guess what? Not everyone has the same health care needs. You won't have to pay your premium. Not everyone pays the same premium. And tens of millions, well over 100 million people get it from their employer. Like, we're going to save. Even if it's $32 trillion, you're going to save a lot of money in the long run. Yeah, assuming it works. What if you spend the $32 trillion and there are still problems with government? President Obama's administration spent $500 million on 5 or 6 people. Literally, 5 or 6 rebels. Literally. And that's not hyperbole. That's in the New York Post. And also in Time magazine. So it's just, I mean, honestly, like, I talk about this a lot, and I know. Hidden for time, thank you. And I know people are like, oh my God, not again, I'm on something! I hereby declare my subscription to your channel will no longer be there tomorrow. I'm on something! I'm on something! If I have to hear about the golden movement one more time, I'm on something! Well, you'll be hearing about her a lot more. You'll be hearing about her a lot. It won't be my fault. You know, it's not going to be my fault. Unknown truth. That's true. Beto O'Rourke. Every time Beto speaks like this, a valley dude. He speaks like a valley dude from the 80s. Yeah, we're going to take everything away from you. That's right. Yeah, what's up? For a second, Beto O'Rourke was like a rock star. Like, this is an amazing guy. Eric H. says, something. I'm really different because I'm skinny and I wear tight jeans and I live in Texas, but I pretty much don't like anything that the average Texan likes, so that makes me really awesome. My name is Beto, and guess what? It's really Robert Francis, but whatever. That was just, my God. Oh, hey, don't tell anyone that I got a DUI, whatever, we'll just impeach Trump for imaginary. I mean, this is like, the and Trump's getting them, he's driving them nuts on Twitter. He's driving on social media, driving them nuts. That's what I'm saying. Like, social media, I am not on Twitter. I am not. Anyone who's pretending to be me is just a person pretending to be me. It's not me. I'm not on Twitter. I'm not on Facebook. And this next year is going to be, they're not going to, when they lose again, Lord help us all. They're going to lose again with Clinton, and it's going to be, so what? Gutsy? We're gutsy. So what? So what? You know what? Clinton 2024, what's up? Clinton 2024, huh? Yeah? And, I mean, they don't have a political party. Who knows how they're going to react? It's going to be amusing / frightening. Who knows? So just today, Bannon has, I'm not joking, this is the 3rd or 4th time. Definitely the 3rd time. But this is the 3rd or 4th time that Bannon has stated Clinton's running. And then he just, puts Bloomberg into the mix, not to sound like me. He's like, Clinton's probably gonna, and also Bloomberg. Yeah, Bloomberg too. What? Why Bloomberg? It's just deal with it. What? Why would Bloomberg run? Hashtag run Bloomberg run has never been written. Bloomberg should really run is something nobody has ever said. Ever. There's like zero, like you're talking about grassroots. There's not even like a tumbleweed. There's nothing. There's not even like a tiny little, one little thing of grass. As did I. She will. The thing is, this is now not. It's not within my hands anymore, people. It's within the hands of the golden one, the golden muumuu. Golden muumuu, we leave our future and our destiny to you, Madam Cyberhack. We bring you good tidings. We'll just let your unbridled ambition lead the way for everyone. You should probably run sooner than later, okay? I mean, this is the third time. that Bannon has said this. George Conway should Freedom Autopsy Report. Hello. Yeah, George Conway should run. That would be awesome. Could you imagine Trump versus Bloomberg in a debate? Oh my God. Or Conway. Oh my God. So now, I mean, every single day, you have some kind of story on Clinton. Every single day. Every single day. And it's like, we're just waiting. It's kind of... Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen, because I do not know when she's going to run, but the next Democratic debate... When's the next Democratic debate? The next Dem debate... November. There's a debate on November 20th where, like, they're going to make it so difficult for Tulsi Gabbard to... This debate is, the rules are you can't be from Hawaii, okay? Okay, you can't be a senator from Hawaii, yeah. Those are the rules. Those are rules. Now, this will be November 20th in Atlanta by MSNBC and the Washington Post, basically the DNC. I have no clue if she would debate or enter. But at that point, I know she's going to enter. I don't know whether it's going to be week before Super Tuesday or... But I can imagine Clinton saying, you know what? I'm tired of people calling me the rot. That I'm like a rotten apple. The rotten muumuu. The rotten muumuu. They call me that, Tulsi. You think you can get away with that? I don't think so. You know, maybe I should run. Trump and Tulsi and the Russians think I should. Maybe I should just do it. Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard. She said lots of mean things about me after I accused her of being a Russian operative with no evidence at all. A mere person at the House of Representatives. Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard was beat to me. She's just in the House of Representatives. Look, there was one on Twitter. He was, oh my God. SM, thank you. Thank you, SM. Thank you, SM. I think there could be a chance that she enters the race for the November 20th. And it could be, you know. Could be. If she enters the... When? Not if she enters. I'm saying if she enters at that point. Because I don't know when she's going to enter. Here we have... This is Vox. Well, allegations that Russia is helping Gabbard remain unproven. Unproven? This is complete nonsense. Experts like the acting director of national intelligence say it's likely that Russia will try to manipulate U.S. elections again. How are they going to manipulate? By giving information that's detrimental to the Democrats? This is so ridiculous. It's like everything bad in life you just blame on Russia and say, well, you know, it's part of their strategy. Really? Everything about Russian politics, everything about the Kremlin and Putin revolves around hurting Democrats? I mean, this makes no sense. This is the reason. Also, one of the reasons Clinton will lose again to Trump. It makes no sense. It's like, this is absolutely ridiculous right now. Phoebe Beach. Phoebe. My theory, HR turning Dems against Tulsi, so she'll run third party, but HRC thinks Tulsi will take votes from Trump. That is interesting, but Gabbard has stated she's not going to run for a third party. So Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard is not going to run, but that is, I mean, I see where you're going there, Phoebe. I do see where you're going there, and I would, if she were to run, I think that would be a viable way of looking at things. Yeah. Because I know there are people now like, you know what, Jay? If you say one more thing about Tulsi, I'm going to unsub. If you speak about the Golden Moo, I'm going to unsub if you speak about Tulsi Gabbard. And she's still a Democrat. It's like, I get it. Yes. I'm saying that if it's Paul Ryan versus Tulsi Gabbard, I'm voting Tulsi Gabbard. If it's, if it's anything like any person like President Trump in 2024 that just wants to bring home Americans, scale back U.S. foreign policy, continue to go up against intelligence officials, first person to step foot in North Korea, then I wouldn't vote for Tulsi. It depends also what happens to the Democratic Party. The current Democratic Party, even if Tulsi Gabbard was the nominee, I can't imagine voting for her. Not because she's not, a strong candidate or intelligent. She is. But the Democrats just have a way of ruining everything and everyone. So, Sky Queen, I agree. I'm voting Trump 2020. And, we got pretty much 1 year. This 1 year is going to go by in the blink of an eye, people. This will be the fastest year we've ever experienced. Blink, and here's election night. I think that Democrats would have to completely revamp their political party, just start over and can be completely obliterated before I would ever really think of. This I could never vote for a Democrat again if it's this type of Democratic Party. But yeah, I mean, and Cory Booker has a very interesting, Senator Cory Booker has a very interesting, he just has a picture of him looking at Tulsi like, what are you doing? No response. And this is why, because he's marketed himself as being a progressive. So what he has to do, he cannot say, hey, you know what, you're wrong. Clinton is not a monger and all that stuff, and she's great and she's fantastic for the political party. She's wonderful. We're not controlled by Madam Cyberhack. So he sends this photo out. So it does two things at once. It says, well, I don't agree with what she says, but Oh my God. This is hilarious. The same people who don't like Bernie are the same people who don't like Tulsi Gabbard. This is oh my God. And then when Trump wins again, they'll be like, Russia? What? Who's at fault here? I don't know anymore. Tree climbing! HA's best live chat. Thank you, tree climbing. Thank you. Tree climbing. Thank you so very much. Never before have I seen, the entire country knows the Democratic Party is in shambles. The entire country knows there's not really a Democratic Party because they don't have any front runner. There's not even a front runner because this is by design. I knew this in 2017. I was the only person to write in the Huffington Post and continue saying it for 2 years that they don't have a political party. Clinton is going to run again. Now, she stated she's going to have a rematch and all that stuff, and don't tempt me. And then Trump is like, why don't you just enter already? Come on. And Tulsi Gabbard's like, why don't you just enter already? Come on. And Steve Bannon for the third or fourth time is like, I can see Clinton running. And so, I mean, what are they waiting for? They're like, we have to cause a little bit more havoc. We have to insult some more people. Mark, I agree with you. And now it's like there is no more political party called the Democratic Party. It's literally just it's a political machine. That's it. Just a political machine. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. To my super chat, everyone, thank you. Thanks for staying up with me on this Saturday evening. You are all absolutely wonderful. Every single one of my super chat and every single one here on this live stream, God bless you. Thank you so very, very much. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back tomorrow. And, generally, you could probably from here on out, I'll do at least one live stream a day. Mostly it'll be uploads, but I'll do at least one a day, depending on how things go. I mean, there's probably going to be reason to do, at least two a day, but I'll do primarily uploads, but I will, in the evening around this time, around from like 9 p.m. Pacific to 11 or 12 a.m. Pacific, you can pretty much expect a live stream every evening. Pretty much. So just want to let you know, everyone. Anyway, God bless. Thank you so very, very much, everyone. Have a great, great evening.